Hello, my name is Elizabeth Nicholson, and I'm here to teach you some teaching strategies for teaching about anti-neoplastic drugs. Okay. First, a little history on anti-neoplastic drugs. They were first developed in the mid-1940s, and they were derived from the nitrogen mustards. The same things that were used in the World War. That's why I got my little gas mask there. Now they had developed to where they could treat cancer. Only problem was they were so toxic, they had really bad side effects. Now the drugs have less toxicity level so that the side effects are not so bad. There are multiple different types of anti-neoplastic agents. There's the alkylating drugs, there's the anti-metabolites, there are the natural anti-neoplastics, that's what's made from plants and all. There's the monoclonal antibodies. They have anti-metabolites, antibiotic, anti-neoplastics, topoisomerase 1 inhibitors, hormonal anti-neoplastics, and hormone modulators. There's also some that are unclassified anti-neoplastic agents. Now, in teaching about these drugs, I would suggest that for all the classes that you would make sure to teach the pharmacodynamics, that's how the drug works, the pharmacotherapeutics, and that's what the drug is going to do and how it's going to treat the disease or prevent it. Also teach any drug interactions, teach the side effects, teach the nursing process, the assessments, the interventions, the planning, and the outcome goals. And also include any special instructions or warnings, things about adjunctive drugs, things like synergistic drugs, and rescue drugs. You should also include these in there. Any of the black box warnings, definitely stress on those points. And another thing that would help is the use of mnemonics. I have one here for bleomycin. I've got the BL in blue and the MY in blue for the blows my DNA to bits. Bleomycin works by fragmenting the DNA, thereby blowing it to bits. My DNA, the my stands for cancer cells. So it says blows my DNA, that's the cancer cells talking to you. Alright, and another one is BARF. This is for common side effects of chemotherapy. Everybody knows nausea and vomiting. Alright, B is for bone marrow suppression, another common, very common side effect. Alopecia, hair loss, another common side effect. Retching and nausea and vomiting is the R. Fear, most people don't think about that as a side effect, but it really is. Fear and anxiety that your patient is feeling. Stomatitis, that's the irritations of all the orifices in the body. Alright. Next, here we have a diagram of the cellular cycle, the cell cycle. Some drugs are cell cycle specific and they only act in certain phases of the cell, like the bleomycin. Only works in the G2 phase. Others work in all the phases. Microtubule inhibitors like paclitaxel, vinblastine, and vincristine They work in the M phase. There's, as you can see, different drugs work in different areas. And you should really, teach also what phase your drugs works in. Now we get to the alkylating agents, drugs. They have 6 classes of alkylating drugs. They are the nitrogen mustards, and that the nitrogen mustards include chlorambucil, cyclophosphamide, estromustane, isophenamide, methylchlorothiamine, hydrochloride, and melphalan. The alkaline sulfonates are the only one there is busulfan. The nitrosoureas, there's carbustane, lomustane, and streptozocin. Then the trazodone has only one in it, and that's dicarbazine. The ethylthiamines, there's only one there also, Thiotepa. Now alkylating light drugs, that contains your carboplatin, cisplatin, and oxaliplatin. And the platin at the end of that lets you know that those drugs have heavy metals in them. They have platinum in them. Now, the antimetabolite drugs, the folic acid analog is methotrexate, and it keeps the body from turning the folic acid into a usable product for the cancer cells. But it also gives the body's natural cells a way to work around that. The pyrimidine analogs, captocidabine, floxuridine, and gemcitabine, all are the pyrimidine analogs. Purine analogs include mercaptopurine, pentostatin, thioguanine, and there's a couple of others in there. But we're going to move on to the hormonal antiplastics and hormonal modulators. Again, we have 6 groups of these. The aromatase inhibitors include exmestane, anastrol, and letrozole. The anti-estrogen drugs are the tamifloxin, torafenamine, and fulvestrant. Androgens, those are fluvoxymesterone, tesloactone, testosterone, ethynate, testosterone, and propionate. Anti-androgens include bicolmatide and nilotinib. Progestins, we have methotrexate acetate and megestrol acetate. The gonadotropin releasing hormone analogs are gossarin acetate, leuprolide acetate, and tryptoline promate. Now, the monoclonal antibodies, I'm not going to do them all, but this is nivolumab, rituximab, and trastuzumab. Those are a mouthful. And again, with all these drugs, always teach your side effects, your method of working, your pharmacodynamics, your pharmacotherapeutics, your drugs that help, drugs that hurt, drugs that rescue you from the problems. Which ones you have to have a standby drug for anaphylaxis and things such as this. Now we have our topoisomerase inhibitors. And the first one is irinotecan, which reminds me of another demonic. Irinotecan sounds sort of like I ran to the can, which is very appropriate because their major side effect of irinotecan is severe diarrhea. And also in that category is the topotecan. Now these unclassified antineoplastics, these include some of our natural, our ones from plants, aldesleukin, asparagine, hydroxyurea, interferons, procarbazine, taxines, including paclitaxel and docetaxel. Those are made from your yew tree. The yew tree is where those come from. And irinotecan is from a plant too. It's from the Japanese happy tree. I don't think irinotecan would make me very happy. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video.